All right. What is good, you guys, and welcome back to another Invincible Guardians of the Globe. And this is going to be another tier list video, but this one is going to be for totems. This is a totem tier list. Totem's been out for a good long while, long enough for us to have a real understanding of the ones that are in the game. Um, Now totems have been dropping a lot more frequently than artifacts have, so I think it's time we go over good totems. Um, so I'm gonna go based off of instant memory, but we can fact check these afterwards. So I'm gonna first just like rank them in the order that I believe. So like for example, characters that have totems that aren't that good, like Titan. Titan's just not a good character. So therefore it doesn't mean his totem's a bad totem, but he's just not a good character. So it's not it's like a okay, like okay. Um Monster Girl. Monster Girl's not a bad character, but it's also like, well, she's not the highest usage. Same thing kind of for Rex. I mean, not Rex, for Strinking Ray. Like, she's not the highest usage person. There's some unique uses for her, but you're never going to really see anybody using her. So it's like, okay, I guess. So I would put those three, and it's only 22, so I will put those three in D tier. Then after that, then we start to move up a little bit. I'm gonna say C tier. We're gonna go with Immortal because Immortal's a good person. Like he's a good character. Like he's a good beginner character, mid tier character. He definitely falls off a lot in the higher end tiers, but he's definitely a good, like he'll carry you throughout the way. He'll get you to the finish line and then let you go on. Let lead, young one. He'll get you there and then go lead me now. He'll take a step back after getting you there. Then then I would say OG Marks isn't the best ability wise, but it is useful for him. So for that, it's like, all right, cool, whatever. And then I'm also gonna throw in I'm gonna throw in, oh wait, actually throw this one into the bottom. Battle Beast's battle helmet. Now it definitely is a good artifact. Once again, not these do not mean these totems are not good. These don't mean these totems aren't good for those characters. These totems are great for the characters. I'm pretty sure every totem in the game is great for the character they're designed for. But these are totems that you can skip on because the character they're meant for isn't that good. So therefore, the impact that the totem is going to have is not going to make or break this character like some of the other totems will. So I would definitely say you could drop him there. Same kind of for Agent Spider. I would say Agent Spider is probably better than any of these. So I'll put him at the bottom of it. See here. And then we can move from there. I will throw in which one is the melee mauler? Not Popeye. Is it the schematic one? It is the schematic one. I actually like the schematic one though a lot. So who could we throw in C? I guess we're gonna have to throw in Dinosaur. Which is crazy that I'm gonna put Maulers over dinosaurs. But yeah, I think I might have to. I might have to, guys. It's crazy. Because I think Dinosaurs is a better character than Maulers, but the two Maulers totems, if you're using them in a Mauler team, they help a lot. And that's mainly because the melee Maulers, what his does, I mean, I could do this. I don't need to put them together. I could do that. What the melee Mauler does is he summons at 25%, he summons another version of himself that has 52% of his stats, which is pretty good. It's like what OG Duplicate used to do. And then the range mauler What he does is 4 times per battle when an ally drops to 25% HP, he will instant heal them for where I have it right now. He will instant heal them for 11% of their max HP, while simultaneously applying a poison damage that is dealt applying a poison damage dealt to the person that dealt the damage that made them go to 25% HP for 7 seconds. So that's really good because he's, for the most part, he's basically guaranteeing you another, at base level, I think it's 10. So another 40% HP, which is at the end of the day good. It's good at the bare minimum. And because it's their max HP and not his max HP, it definitely does benefit if you're using him in not an all Mauler team more than using him in the direct Mauler team. So this totem actually makes that range Mauler usable in any kind of team for that sense, which is why I think it's such a good totem for him. And then yes, the Dinosaurus one isn't really that good, but it's for a good character. At the start of the wave, Dinosaurus reduces enemies' main skills cooldown by 55%. In addition, enemies above 88% HP also suffer from a 75% reduction of their cooldown charge by charge speed. It's not really that good of a artifact of a totem, which is honestly why I say you could do it like this. It's just the fact that it's for dinosaurs. I honestly do think you could drop it. I would say it's actually probably down there in the sense of what it does. We can go over all of them after we rank them. Now for an A tier. Now a lot of these are really good. Now A tier, I'm gonna have to say Adam's picture frame. Uh, who else? What is Alan's again? At the start of the wave, Alan, the alien targets the strongest enemy, taunting them, increasing his defense by 12% for 9 seconds. I mean, that's good. It does what you want a tank to do. So okay, I guess. Um, and out of the ones we have left, I'm probably gonna have to say robots or Doc Seismics. I'm gonna say Doc Seismics. Um, we might have to make another SS category here, by the way. SS, because some of these are actually disgustingly good. So yeah, have to do that. Yeah. You could also put robots in here. I think you could put his in here too. At the start of the battle, increases the attack. This is just overall damage increase. So it's good, but eh. Also B tier. I could probably drop these. I could probably drop these two down to B tier. Um these though. So this is so tough to pick through. Um Simply because Nolan, is it I'm gonna have to say Universa, I think. I'm gonna have to say Universa staff and leadership. Only because yes, this makes Universa as broken as when she before she got nerfed, which is why it's so good. But I think Omni Man, a highly built Omni Man with his totem versus a highly built Universal with her totem, I think the Omni Man wins. So for that reason, I'm gonna put Omni Man's above hers, and I'm gonna say that that's how it's gonna go. And then these 5 right here are just some of the best ones. Now, I will say Conquest Totem is probably the weakest one. I'm gonna be honest. Conquest Totem is probably the weakest one that's gonna be in this SS category, and I honestly am debating pulling it down to A tier. I think I might pull it down to A tier. But the only reason why I want to put it in SS because Conquest is just that good, and Conquest can basically go from their like 20% HP back all the way to full HP off of this, which is huge. But it is what it does is like when you first look at it, it's like and it's not always a guarantee. It's somewhat of a like a luck kind of thing. So for that reason, you know what? I will move this one up and put Conquests there. For that. Then we're gonna get to these. Blue Suit Marks, one of the best ones. I'll say Tech Jacket's there. Then Blue no. Then General Krieg, then Blue Suit Mark, then Thrag. I would say that would be the totems in ranking order. And starting from the top down, you got Thrag. With Thrag's ability at what I have it at, this once again, this is not base level, but this is what I currently have it at. Gains a 6% dodge increase. He gains also a storage of 10% damage taken for each for each one charge. Each time he successfully dodges an attack, he will earn a charge. When he reaches 5 charges, his next attack will do true damage equal to 122% of the stored damage, and all charges will be consumed. So, with that, it's a mouthful of words. What that basically means is, let's just say Thrag is taking 50,000 damage every single hit, right? So you would do 10% of 50,000. 5,000, right? So then you would times 5,000 by 5, 25,000. Then you will times 25,000 by 2.2. So 25,000 times 2.2. 55,000. So he's dealing a massive charge attack of 55,000 just based off the numbers I said in one charge attack. That's like the accumulation of an ultimate off of just a totem. That's basically an ultimate attack off of just a totem. It's insane. And then if you do it the way I built his thing, where you can boost his attack power, you can boost his physical attack power, you can boost his HP and his physical defense, you can make your Thrag so much harder to kill, which is another good avenue for the totems. Then we got Blue Suit Mark, which is actually my highest built totem. And what Blue Suit Mark's totem does is when Invincible's HP drops below 40%, he immediately gains an attack boost for 9 seconds, which is a huge long time, equal to 33% of his attack of the enemies with the highest attack stat. So he will get 33% of the enemy on the other team's highest attack stat. So if he's going against someone like so if I'm using my own Blue Suit Mark, right, against someone like my own Thrag, right, he's gonna get 33% of Thrag's attack stat for 9 seconds as boost. What is 9% of 452,000?
What's the best artifact for Omni-Man? Give me a quick example. It's for a project.
What is the best artifact for Omni-Man? Burger Mart trash bag, oxygen helmet, flax and stun device, flax and spear, and GDA cloaking device. Those are all 5 pretty good for him. But yeah, that's what was it? It was 50 something thousand, right? 40,000. So that's a 40,000 attack boost he gets for 9 seconds. That's a huge attack boost. Especially with the fact that, remember, Blue Suit Mark does true damage. So that's a lot of attack boost for someone that does true damage. And then we have General Krieg.
Give me one.
Give you one. I would say the best one maybe for him would be either Oxygen Helmet or GDA Cloaking Device. One of those would be the best for him because GDA Cloaking Device and Oxygen Helmet are just going to keep him alive longer, which is one of his biggest weaknesses. So either one of those. Whenever an ally uses their main ability,
Can the totem for Doc Seismic spawn infinite Magamite?
technically, if he's alive, as long as he's alive, yes. But the moment he dies, then obviously no. I believe. We're gonna get to his in a second. Hold on. So the reason why I like General Krieg's totem is whenever there is a main ability, General Krieg, at any time a main ability is used, General Krieg gains a healing over time equal to 12% of his max HP for 5 seconds. This helps your General Krieg stay alive. General Krieg is very squishy. It's very easy for a General Krieg to die after the start of a battle. And you don't want him to die. Because the moment he dies, you don't have that summon coming in and out of the game anymore. That summon's gone. You also don't have your enemy team being reduced by 90% of their defense. So you want to keep them alive. And this totem helps that. Then we have Tech Jackets thing. At the start of the battle, and after every cooldown, Tech Jacket fires an energy blast at the area with the most enemies, which distorts them that with domination impact. Enemies caught in this explosion are pushed back, which plays very good with Nissa, Battle Beast, and Dinosaurus. Are pushed back, and they take 180% of her energy attack as damage, and they have their energy defense reduced by 24% for 12 seconds. This happens every 24 seconds. Not bad at all. Also, it's just overall damage, so pretty good ability. And then Omni-Man's, which is just broken in my opinion. And what Omni-Man does, it doesn't seem as crazy when you read it, but Omni-Man gains a permanent 4% physical attack boost and removes one positive effect from the enemy with each attack he deals. So every punch he lands, he's removing a positive effect. So if he's going against someone like a Blue Suit Mark, and I believe this does count to immunity barriers. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I believe it does. So that means if he's going against like an OG Mark, and OG Mark pops his immunity bubble, he can literally just punch him, get rid of the immunity bubble, and then punch him again. I believe, if it works that way. But if it doesn't work that way, let's say he's fighting someone along the lines of a Mauler, a team. He can literally delete the Mauler team's positive effects. Just delete them. If he's fighting against someone that's on a General Krieg's team, he can just punch them one time and remove their shield. So it's like this ability doesn't seem that broken until you really deeply think about it. Removing positive status effects is basically what Aquarius does, which is why everybody says Aquarius is so good. Because Aquarius can remove on a positive status effect by using his ultimate. Omni-Man can do that with every punch he lands. That's insane. It's honestly, in my opinion, I think probably the best totem in the game if you have a super high built Omni-Man. But Omni-Man is not the best character, so for that reasoning, I don't think I would put it as the number one. Conquests, like I already said, what Conquest does after dropping 25% HP, he gains a 210% life leech for 3 seconds. And the reason why this is so good is if you time it right, when this ability is applied to him for that 3 seconds, if you have his ultimate up and you pop his ultimate, he will literally go from that 25% HP all the way back to full HP. I've done it plenty of times in my battles. It is disgustingly broken if you time it right. Then if you go to Universa, Staff of Leadership, Universa, it's basically just overall boosting her crit damage by 100%, making her just do a huge amount of extra damage on every single one of her base attacks for a total of 5 seconds. This is just overall just boosting her overall damage output. Robot, he spawns in basically a clone of the ally with the highest power on your team for that match, and every wave, if you're doing like Cecil Nightmares, if you're doing like GTA Ops, every wave or every time they die, he'll summon that person. The clone will have 22% of the robot stats though, not the person with the highest attack stat. It would basically be it would be a baby version of your robot. So if your robot's super built, then he will clone himself for the most part. But if your robot's not the strongest on the team, but has good stats, then he's gonna baby clone one of your other members on your team, basically. Which is pretty good. It works very well in GTA Ops and in certain situations for Arena. Then you got the one that we already read for Space Racer. That's just basically overall damage and critical chance boost for his team and himself, and not himself, but it's for his team. Then you have the Doc Seismic one, which was the one you asked about. Doc Seismic uses whenever he uses a shockwave, he summons one Magnemite with 14% of his stats and creates a burn zone on the battlefield for 25 seconds. Enemies on the ground within the zone consume burn damage, dealing 450% of his base damage over 1 second. So I think it's like a ticking thing. Like every second they're going to take that type of damage, which is really, really, really high damage. And once again, the concept is as long as he's alive and he's popping his ability to fly away, every time he pops that ability, it's going to trigger a Magnemite. So in theory, it's unlimited. Then Allen's, like we said earlier, at the start of the wave, he taunts the enemy. Cool copy, giving himself a defense boost. Adam Eves is kind of lackluster to me. Every time an ally dies, and this one makes it lackluster, every time an ally dies, you have to have your allies die. And that's the biggest part that's like iffy, because in a situation of like arena and stuff like that, this is not that useful unless you're using like a multi-pole or a Volcanica or a General Krieg or a robot with his totem or something like along those lines. You need someone that's a summon. So like a machine head, you need someone that's a summon that really gets the max value out of this on the team. But every time an ally dies, she gains 1 charge. Upon reaching 2 charges, she releases a massive energy wave, dealing 240% of her base damage as energy damage, and stuns all enemies for 3 seconds. So what helps it though is that it's a stun. And if you do have somebody that's constantly summoning targets, this can be popped multiple times, meaning she can do multiple stuns because there is no cooldown on this, which is the positive thing about it. So you can capitalize on it if you run the right team. Then we got the Pot Pie one, which is the one that we said that he constantly can heal that 40%, and the higher you build it, the more and more and more. Then we have President's Hat for Immortal. Whenever Immortal drops to 56 HP, I honestly think they missed the opportunity here because 56 is such a weird number, and 56 I don't believe is when his immunity bubble triggers, so I don't see the reasoning on why this should be the case. I think they should have did 6-7. Call me crazy, but I think that would have been way funnier. and it would have been way more like a hee hee ha ha for the community. But whatever. He applies a confusion to one random enemy for 3 seconds, boosting all allies' main charges by 16%. This has a 16-second cooldown, so once again, not that best, not the greatest ability. But it does apply a confusion, which is pretty good, and somewhat works as a baby version of the battle hologram. So not bad. Probably, honestly, I'll probably do that. Then let's get to OG Mark. Whenever an ally dies, Sinister Fans Dog's powers heal invincible for 5 seconds of his max HP. So once again, if you're using Adam Eve and OG Mark together, you would probably want to use them with someone like a Multipaw, a Volcanica, and like a Doc Seismic, because those are constant summon people. Or instead of Doc Seismic, you can use Machine Head. So if you use Volcanica, Machine Head, and Multipaw with OG Mark and Adam Eve, you can actually see a real good usage of their totems, because Adam Eve is constantly going to be stunning, and your OG Mark is going to be basically impossible to kill. So it's a very unique team you can run for something like a GTA op to capitalize on their totems. Then you got Agent Spider. Whenever an enemy drops to 30%, Agent Spider throws a web bomb at their position, creating a web explosion, dealing 150% of his attack as damage, stunning all nearby enemies for 2 seconds. Pretty much just an overall good damage skill boost to stun some targets and deal some good damage. Not bad, pretty good, pretty useful. Then you have this guy here, which we already went over, which was the at the start of the wave. He reduces the charges of the enemies he's going against, and reduces the charge speed of the enemies that have already taken some damage. So once again, not the best in the game, not one of the best abilities, but it is what it is. If I'm being totally honest, we could probably drop these, but it's mainly the characters these are on that hurt it. Now Titan. Titan, when reaching below 40% HP, gains one charge. Charge each time. Wait. Gains one charge. Stack. Charge. Each time he attacks an enemy. Upon reaching 4 charges, he unleashes a devastating blow that deals additional damage equal to 22% of his max HP. Um, applied applies a bleed effect, dealing 100% of the damage for 3 seconds. Now, the reasoning this is not that good is he has to reach 40% HP and then be healed above that, and then reach it again, and it has to be a constant cycle. And the reason why this isn't good is, let's just say he does it twice or 3 times, someone has to heal him again for that fourth time, because if he dies, this resets. So it's really, really bad. I feel like it's too many charges he needs to get to before he actually unleashes the attack. It would be better if his shields that he gives himself after using his ultimate did natural healing or something. Then I can see where this would be more useful, but it does it, so I don't understand why it's so many charges. Then we have this one for Shrinking Ray. When an ally is applies burn to an enemy, when a ally applies burn to an enemy, Shrinking Ray and Shrinking Ray shrinks and leaps towards the enemy, dealing 200% of her attack as damage before returning to her normal size. Now, this one would actually work pretty well with Volcanica, because or Rex, because he does pure damage too. Obviously, is meant to be for Rex, but it would work with somebody that does constant burn damage, which I don't believe Rex does constant burn damage, but she does. So if you put like a Rex, a Doc Seismic, a Volcanica, and maybe an Immortal or a robot, it could be a pretty good team. You can probably get some good value out of that in a GDA app. But yeah. But this does have a cooldown of 13 seconds, so it's not like it's something that's going to be constantly instant triggering. So it is what it is. And then you got Monster Girl's belt. Monster Girl restores and boosts her max HP by 1.1% every 5 seconds. This can stack up to 10 times. Now, this one's pretty good because the more and more you build it, the more and more it's going to go up. And that basically means she gives herself a 10.5 HP max boost, which isn't bad. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. A 10 max HP boost is not bad. You'll take that. Like, it is what it is. You'll take it. It's nothing bad. There's no like there's no like, oh, this removes it, or it's every second she's just giving herself more HP. Plus her own abilities to give herself more defense and attack power. If you have the right healers around her, she's just gonna get stronger. That's all it is. So not bad. And then Battle Beast helmet. After using his claw out ability, Battle Beast gains a shield equal to 55% of his attack stat for 5 seconds. Now that's good because Battle Beast does great damage, but Battle Beast's main problem is that he's very squishy and dies very quickly. So this helps him stay alive. And with all that said and done, that covers all of the totems and what they do and why I have them where they are. If I'm being honest, I think the D tier ones are better than the C tier ones, but they have very weird usage times. So like Shrinking Rays is good, but the 13 seconds cooldown kills it. Titans is good, but the fact that it needs to charge 4 times before you can use it kills it. These two are pretty good. Honestly, you can move these up. I would say you can do that. Same as this one, you can do that if you really want to. But I don't really think it matters too much. But for the sense of like being accurate, I would say you could do that. These are probably the worst 4. And yeah, I would say that's my totem tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys if you stuck all the way to the end of this. If you guys have any thoughts or any opinions on where you think these should rank, let me know down in the comments below. Love you guys. Thank you guys for all the love support. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace!